When people think of Japanese houses, they may think of this: a beautiful building with a slanty roof and a countryside perhaps right next to a mountain. While I have no idea how we may have come to that stereotype, it is wrong. Japan is a very small country. At only 1/26 the size of the United States, and with over one-third of the population, most residents live in urban areas. Also, the homes aren't all traditional, like in this picture, and many homes are much more modern than we might expect. The average floor area of a Japanese housing unit is 1,021 square feet, which is less than half the size of the average American household. To put that into perspective, that is about the size of a racquetball court. Because of this, efficiency plays a major role in all of Japanese architecture.
Here are some pictures of a new Japanese home that was modeled to look like a traditional one. It's a fairly common design. As you can see, there are large amounts of wood paneling to make the structure of the home appear traditional. The large windows in the glass door to the patio allow significant amounts of natural light, which is not only aesthetically pleasing, but the oversized windows create an illusion of a larger space within the home, because this is actually a very small home. Also notice the sliding doors, or shoji, are very abundant in this home. Not only do they keep the traditional style, but they also help with the availability of space. They don't have to swing inward or outward, so they're much more compact. Here's a great picture of the dining room. What's interesting about this room is the table. It's actually sunken into the floor, so when it's not being used, it can be lowered completely, and the room can be used for something other than dining. In these minimalistic homes, nearly every aspect of the house gets tucked away at some point. Beds are folded into couches, tables are folded into the floors or walls. There are various appliances, microwaves, and washing machines are tucked under counters or stacked on top of each other. As you can see in this picture, there's not a whole lot of counter space. And believe it or not, this is an entire laundry room. Here's a picture of something that's not too familiar to American homeowners. This is the Genkan. It's the area of the home that's located at the entrance, and it's mostly used for people to take off their shoes and clean their feet before entering the home to keep the house cleanly. But an interesting culture note on the Genkan is that it's generally considered a public space. If your door is unlocked, it's not unusual for a postman or a salesman to enter the home and leave packages. Most social transactions occur in the Genkan, unlike American culture where the guest is usually invited all the way into the home or met outside if they're unknown. Finally, here's a quick tour of the average Japanese bathroom and toilet, which are indeed two different rooms.
This is the shower room. I don't know if that is a bathtub or just something you stand in. If it's a bath, then I don't know how I would fit in it. I don't really know what this is either, but you can do this, and then you can do that as well. So that's pretty good. There's the shower. Okay, so here is the toilet. I love this. Is such a clever toilet though. Not in the sense that it's electronic, like a lot of Japanese toilets, but this thing here. When you flush the toilet, it refills this bit up from a sink that you can wash your hands in. So you go to the toilet, flush that, and then look. Oh, you can wash your hands. You got about 30 seconds to wash your hands. So how clever is that? So that's really recycling water, and it just gets me excited every time. Such a simple little thing, but so clever. And if that doesn't excite you, nothing will.
While detached housing accounts for around 62% of Japanese residences, apartment living is extremely common, especially in cities. In Tokyo, for instance, 62.5% of individuals live in multi-unit apartments. With a population of 13.35 million, that means that 8.34 million people live in apartments in that city alone, which is about equal to the population of the state of Virginia. Apartments in Japan are called donchi, or group land. In 1955, the Japan Housing Corporation, known as the Urban Renaissance Agency, was founded. They are responsible for the construction of many donchi in suburban areas in an attempt to offset the extreme density of Japanese urban centers. Central heating is not very common in many Japanese homes. In fact, kerosene, electric, or gas space heating is used very frequently. This is because traditional Japanese buildings did not use insulation. In fact, many modern Japanese apartments still don't even have it. The presence of kerosene heaters inside a small apartment does sound like it could be dangerous, but fortunately, many windows have vents that open to prevent excess gas accumulation. While this sounds counterproductive in terms of keeping the house warm, it definitely seems like it decreases chances of unpleasant, explodey things happening. Japanese houses are often more traditional than American homes, and are certainly more efficient and usually smaller. However, even with their clever beds that fold into the wall and crazy toilets that definitely don't sound scary, they aren't as different than we might imagine.